A group dressed in a scarlet of the priesthood of Marx walks toward you. Their gazes are fixed on Pasqal. You know that the group is not monolithic. Some of its members are more heavily armed and follow the large tech priest clad in battle armor. Others are keeping a respectful distance and casting quizzical looks at their tall, hunched leader. Despite a hood hiding his face, you recognize him as Opticon 22, whom you met on Footfall. The enormous tech priest points his hand at Pasqal and lets out a booming roar. Not unlike a factory alarm, it makes your very bones vibrate. Herald servo skulls follow in his wake, marked with the emblem of the cog. They blare shrilly. Thou shalt not suffer a heretic in thy forge. For rust begets rust. Pasqal Hanuman, in the name of the Adeptus Mechanicus, you are under arrest. The hunched servant of the Omniscience turns to you. Diplomacy mod engage. Announcement. The Adeptus Mechanicus offer their apologies, would like to inform you of the necessity of conducting an operation to detain, arrest, terminate a faulty unit on the rogue trader territory. Inspect the priests of Mars. You identify the rare armor the enormous tech priest is wearing as a Secutor's plated mechanized suit. It carries the imprints of many battles and has markings that announce its status as a relic. Some of the armor damage looks fairly severe, to the point of endangering its operation. Scraps of flesh that show from under the steel have terrible chemical burns on them. Every now and then convulsions shake the Omniscience servant body, and a painful sound hiss comes from his vox. The tall tech priest who spoke to you looks more peaceful and makes a point of not drawing his weapon. There's an air of concern about the way he frequently glances over at his fellow, inspecting his state. Asking for trouble, are you, cogs? Who are you? An instrument of the Omniscience authorized to punish and exact vengeance, known by the call sign of Tarzus Hanuman. Identification codes recognize and confirm these units are who they have declared themselves to be. And on what charge are you trying to arrest a member of my retinue? This heretic is accused of stealing personal identification codes, spreading tech heresy in the world of Kiava Gamma, and an attempt at life of a servant of the Omniscience. A deafening roar from tech priest Wax makes your grimace in pain. You touch your ear and notice blood on your fingers. The faulty unit will be removed. In the name of Omniscience, I accuse. A lightning flashes across the warrior's armor. Agony resounds in the blare of his Vox alarm. In contrast, Pasqal speaks quietly and coldly. You're malfunctioning, tech comrade. I deem your logical conclusions questionable. The statement is false. Tech brother Tarzus Hanuman is willingly undergoing holy torment deterioration, which however does not critically affect his cognitive capacity for data analysis. Unit calling himself Pasqal Hanuman, we have information that implicates you, having learned that you are a member of a retinue and maintenance specialist in the service of the rogue trader Valancius. We've headed here with the goal of meeting you, intercepting you, engaging you in combat. Does this big fellow have to roar? Point, the furious servant of the Omniscience. You have proved that the tech priest is who he claims to be. How do you suppose Pasqal was involved with events on Kiava? What do you say, Pasqal? Not handing Pasqal over to you unless I see evidence. Let us untangle this together. Get off my planet now. And if you ever try to arrest anyone in my domain again, you will regret it. Do you have proof that this tech priest is who he claims to be? Confirmed. According to the archive entry, Magus explorator Tarzus Hanuman served and maintained the ship Identifier Classified. In the capacity of a reliquary caretaker, he sustained extensive damage to both the organic and the sacred part of his body, and a series of sacrilegious breaches of the right of operation and assassination attempt. Owing to a statistically fortunate coincidence, by the Omniscience's grace, enough of his operational capacity was preserved for him to don a Goliath model sacred battle harness. which will preserve his vital functionality. Archive entry personally data sealed by the captain of the identifier classified. For vengeance I thirst as I tread the path of vengeance following a blasphemous miscreant bloody tracks. Analysis of the security system showed that the assassins heretics infiltrated the reliquary using Tech Brother Tarzus' unique identification code. Someone had stolen, duplicated Brother Tarzus' identity, which is a third-degree transgression, and the unit making the allegedly criminal claim of being Pasqal Hanuman is known to have previously used Enter the Stolen Code. What do you say, Pasqal? I deny these charges. I never plotted against my tech comrade. My cognitive purity vows were never distorted. My unique identification code was never stolen. I'm the true Magus explorator Hanuman, and I'm not guilty. False witness. How do you suppose Pasqal was involved with the events on Kiava? Our data suggests that the unit which used Magus Explorator Hanuman identification code performed an unauthorized upgrade of the planetary Vox array that used data deemed to be scrap code into its operation. This fact points to this unit's criminal complicity with the heretic Cubist Delphi. Does this big fellow have to roar? Negative. Upon completing his sanctification procedure, Tech Brother Tarzus vowed modified his engrammatic arithmetics algorithms in order never to desecrate, sully, tarnish his mouth Vox cognitive process with flesh speak. Mine is a pure and binary tongue that preserves only what is true and shuns scrap data. Are you saying he's a saint? The statement is true. Brother Tarzus has the honor of wearing authorization to wear the sacred battle harness that belonged to Magus Militant of Spectre Gracchus, one of the first champions of the Fate Holy Skulls to join the cause of conquering the Koronus Expanse. After his death, the termination of his vital functions at the hands of Xenos, his damaged Goliath class armor was preserved and given the status of a relic. The Adeptus Mechanicus regard this act as voluntarily martyrdom, self-destruction for the glory of Deus Mechanicus. This battle harness is classified as Cogni armor, the machine spirit living in its strong and wise, but it took major damage in the course of Magus Gracchus' last battle. Besides sacred litanies and imperatives of service to the Omnissiah, the armor broadcasts a continuous signal of suffering and agony into the Brother Tarzus' mind. I won't hand him over unless I see evidence. Request approved. Ready to work in cooperative mode. Tarzus gives you a haughty look and lets out a howl of wrath. Archiving. Tech Brother Tarzus opposes lay participation in the investigation search for the truth. The unit Opticon 22 advises in favor of the House 1 Valancius representative's participation request. I've been to Kiava Gamma and I can assure you Pasqal has nothing to do with it. Request for cooperation reviewed and accepted. I request Tech Brother Tarzus consent to the co-participation of representatives of the Von Valancius dynasty in the investigation proceedings. A sacrilegious conspiracy. I refuse help from lay people. I am a cog of the Deus Mechanicus that grinds down corruption, and I will carry out the sentence immediately. Pasqal freezes, but green sparks light up in his visor. He extends a hand toward Tarzus and replies in a clanging voice, "Let the cycle be discontinued." You realize Pasqal's words are coming from under both his own Vox and Tarzus. Then every sensor of the executioner battle harness lights up at once. Blindingly, in the wounded armor Leviathan lets out a deafening roar of pain. Attention, priority notification. Service units of the Kappa Trade supply line are unauthorized to confront the rogue trader. Command, retreat and reinitiate negotiations. Opticon 22 barely moves, man. I don't need to wait for you to... You're shitting me. And this fake saint wants to die. Seems like. Yeah, fake saint wants to die.
Surrender to the dark power.
Tarzus, tier 4 manipulator push. With Tarzus Technomat attacks, Vicar, Tarzus. That's a melee Mechanicus. Yeah, it's an assassin. Sharpshooters. What's not? Okay. Let's see what the fuck is this now. Some servitors with solid movement. The other one is full melee.
The Emperor commands.
Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless. Why I was chosen.
If I may.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Escape the Emperor's judgment.
I am a navigator, not a servitor. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Out aggression.
Your blood will flow. trial.
For the throne's glory. I won't object to it.
Okay.
Let's see to it. I won't object to it.
Are you ready for Argenta? I doubt you are, but time to test you
I'll
out.
do it. Why I was chosen.
You're ready.
As the Emperor commands, I
Not
act.
buffed though.
Doubt is for the weak.
Solid enough. Tarzus.
Victory is imminent. A tactically sound approach. At your beck and call.
Mind your cat.
I will do my duty.
Fake saint.
Request approved. Running binary.
That's the new X now.
My vow is to serve. The scriptural prognosis is favorable. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. Running binary override.
Oh my god, you little shit!
We have one down.
Alpha retaliation. Yeah, get the fuck out. I wasn't didn't expect that. Son of a bitch.
And so shall it be done. Rejoice in service. Let this be the warning to all who oppose us. I will not be deterred. The Emperor commands. And so shall it be done.
Emperor, give me strength. Isn't this a job for the serfs? Try to die with grace, at least. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Faith without deeds is worthless. Rejoice in battle! As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it.
I'll paint Write your death in colors.
As the Emperor commands. Right prayer. I'll do it. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Joint analysis will definitely help you out.
Guided by faith.
Do you know who's coming for you?
As the Emperor commands.
What now with Opticon? Requesting cessation of hostilities. Help your brother. Pasqal, what have you done to Tarzus? Unable to fulfill a request, the Omnissiah granted me epiphany, and I muted the main machine spirit that was filling Tarzus' mind with fury. I do not fully understand the manner of my appeal to it. The situation perfectly mirrors the incident that I cut my notice where I appealed to the machine spirit of a malfunctioning mechanism and put it to rest. I'm sorry that you had to kill a comrade. I regret have negative assessment of that event as well. The Adeptus Mechanicus are still accusing the unit identifying as Pasqal Hanuman of a criminal theft of a unique identification code. Unlike Tech Brother Tarzus, I'm not authorized to immediately arrest and execute the unit, but neither am authorized to drop the inquiry. There are no apostates among us. The piercing voice from the Vaxint is more overwhelming than the Tarzus thunderous roar. Tech Brother Tarzus and the machine spirit that lived in his metal harness succumbed to the suffering that beset them. Their judgment was rash and arenas. Now their torment is over. I declare them martyrs, and I'm requisitioning Tarzus Hanuman neural augmetic for the purpose of preserving his blessed memory. As astonished tech priests look on, Pasqal leans over the slain man's body and extracts the augmetic from his skull bone. His movements are as precise as they're respectful. Whatever you just did, it's working. Keep going. Whisper. Listen silently. You saw the agony your tech brother Tarzus was in. His unbridled pain-spurred fate intimidated you, yet you were silent. Reverence stopped you from raising your voices to proclaim that the machine spirit with which his mind has merged was morbidly afflicted. The imperative of reverence had paralyzed your will, and you watched the tragedy unfold in silence. The sixth universal law states that the comprehension is the true path to knowledge, yet the procedural cycle has robbed you your comprehension. Therefore, let the cycle be discontinued. Let the cycle be discontinued. Let the cycle be discontinued, tech comrades. Pasqal, what happened? Translate, man. I decided to back up my words when I excerpted from one of the Blessed Amarnath's sermons on the loss of internal and external function, verse 4. My analysis has deemed it appropriate. Now everything is fucking clear. What was the reason for that act of genuflection? It's been a long time since the words of Messiah of discontinuing were less spoken openly over public communication bans. We respectfully welcome Wisdom return. So he's not forgotten after all. The Messiah of discontinuing, is that how you refer to Amarnath? Following Archmagus Amarnath partial cessation removal from the chain of command, that was the authorship attribution on a series of sermons on discontinuing the cycle which were passed around in Connaissance fleet. It was in fact a title used by many in times past. Isn't Amarnath teaching heretical? The statement is false, contrary to what many servants of the Omnissiah thought they knew, preferred to believe. The Fleet Supreme Conclave never issued an official statement on the decision. 37% of the Supreme Conclave members openly supported Archmagus Amarnath views, disappeared, were removed from the chain of command under circumstances that were classified. The Supreme Conclave has not had a quorum ever since. Do you know where is Amarnath? Data unavailable. No reports have mentioned Archmagus Amarnath since the incident on the Archmechanicus Hermetico, which led to the presumed destruction and disappearance of that voidship. My archive has no data on Hermetico incident. The vessel was the Blessed Amarnath base of operations. Is it lost then? Were you among his followers? Negative. I had no contact with Archmagus Amarnath and was never a member of his flock, disciples, retinue. However, my analysis of the doctrine he outlined inspired a deep respect, trust in him, in me. I presume the conflict between you and Pasqal has been resolved. The data received provides a basis for calling the fallen tech brother Tarzus' hypothesis into question. Out of respect for duty, lack of authorization to indict followers of the Messiah or discontinuing, we will not proceed with detainment, arrest, termination. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. Thank you, brother. 22. Now that the conflict's been resolved, you may remain aboard my ship. Request declined. The Kappa Thread Supply Line delegation is leaving Dargonus, expresses gratitude for the hospitality ceasefire, and proclaims its intents to return to Football to resume performing its regular functions. Pasqal McEndride briefly touches the shoulder of Opticon 22, who bows respectfully. Scram. Don't. Please don't.